Hello everyone, welcome to Jolly Molly TV. Today we are going to jump right in to the next step in this fun project by Kimberbell, the Candy Corn Quilt Shop. Isn't this adorable? Alright, so last video I talked about the supplies you needed and the parts of the Kimberbell project that you needed to get started. So hopefully you've got those in hand now, and today's project is going to be to cut the fabrics. This takes a while and you want to do it slowly. So I want to give you a heads up on how to process these so you can do this with success. Okay, so if you look at your embroidery version packet, you will see on page 3 it talks about the bag system, and we talked about this briefly last time. But what you want to do is you want to have 28 clear bags to be able to put your cut fabrics into, okay, as you cut them. So you're going to see here there's block names. So you want to label each one of your bags with one of these block names. Okay, now we talked also about these really cool reusable plastic pouches, and again you need to use a dry erase marker on these. So I will go through and I will label 28 of these with the name of each one of those blocks. Okay, and then put those aside. Now you're going to go to page 4 and 5, and this is your fabric chart showing the fabrics, the requirements, what block it's going to be used in, and the size of fabric that you need to cut. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to work on all of these fabrics and cut them and put them into the bags as you go. Now, we haven't discussed using Kimberbell's quilting designs. And let me go show those to you real quick, because we want to make sure that those quilting designs are going to match up with the size of fabric that we need to cut. So let's go to the computer. Okay, so now we've gone to Kimberbell.com, this awesome website. Okay, the first thing that we want to look up, there's the project. That's what we're going to work on. So we want to go to products and we want to look at background quilting. Okay, and we're going to click on background quilting by project and select Candy Corn Quilt Shop. All right, so here we go. Now they do have a bundle now for this project. Okay, and this bundle has 10 different quilting backgrounds in here. And you get all the sizes that you need for this project. So there's the borders, the spider web, wiggly little lines, cute with a witch there, and a ghost, and spider webs with cute spiders. Okay. Then they also will give you a chart letting you know which design they used in which block, and then a written chart showing you which design is used on which block and the size. Okay, this is $72 for the set, and you get 10 different quilting designs. Also, what you can do is come down here and click on Halloween, and it's going to bring up all the designs they have for Halloween. Okay, so you have the borders separately, you have the needle and thread, the flag or pendant banners, you have candy corn, Halloween, you have your spider webs, the little I call it scribble with a witch, and then stars, and then the ghost. So what if you didn't want to do all of this entire collection? You don't have to. Okay, you can pick and choose what you want. Like my last project that I'm still working on in the video series is Red, White, and Bloom. And I actually just chose one design to quilt in the background all the blocks. Okay, so you don't have to do different designs for different blocks. This project, our Candy Corn Quilt Shop, I am leaning toward only purchasing the needle and thread, which would look really nice behind the block that has the dress. That would look good. That's $6. Then I would go with this candy corn, which I really think is cute, and that would be another $6. I think the borders, I would have to choose either between the spider web and the thread, or I could go with this cute pumpkin and the stars. That would be cute. That's $8. And then perhaps this with the spider web and this with the ghost. So, you know, you could choose 2 or 3 designs. Let's see, that's 6. That would be 12. Let's see, that would be 18. 6 times 4 is 24. And so that would be about $32 for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different designs. Okay, so it's not as much as $72 for the bundle. You do need a border. So those are specific sizes, as you can tell from the chart. So in order to do the borders, you will need to purchase one or the other of this package for the borders if you want to quilt your borders. Okay. And what I mean by quilt is we're actually going to be quilting as we go. So we're going to build the block, we're going to put down the batting, we're going to put down the fabric, and then the embroidery machine is going to quilt this quilting design out first, and then the applique is going to go on top of that. So once you get done, all you're doing with your quilt or wall hanging is you're sewing the blocks together and putting the backing on. The quilting is already done. Okay. You stitch in the ditch and attach the back and you're finished. Of course, binding, of course. But the quilting part is done. So we're quilting this in the first stages of making each block. Okay. So I will quilt my borders. I will choose between one of these 2 designs, the spider web or the pumpkin. I'm kind of leaning toward the pumpkin. I think this is kind of cute. It's hard to see on that fabric, but I think that's cute. And it comes in all the sizes. Then I just need to select 1, 2, or whatever your heart desires. I may only go with 3. I may go with the ghost, the candy corn, and the spider webs. I don't know. That needle and thread, it's kind of appealing behind the dress. So I might do 4. But anyway, when I choose to do this, whatever design I choose, it's going to show me the sizes that are available. And mind you, this is for the background pieces of your blocks. This is not for your applique cuts. This is for your background. So if you look at the chart I showed you in the book, for each piece of fabric, you're looking for the ones that say background. And they'll say 6.5 by 10.5, which includes your seam allowances. So here's the design you would use for the 6 by 10. Okay. Also, when we get into this, we're going to be picking quilting based on the finished size of each block. So as we get there, I'll be able to pull up and tell you exactly what the finished block size is and what size design we're going to quilt out for each and every one. But these, what I call collections, give us all of the sizes that we're going to need in order to do this. So we can literally cut our fabrics now, knowing that these quilting designs come in all the sizes we're going to need to do that. So we will cut our fabrics based on the sizes that they have in that chart. And then you can be thinking about, between now and the next video when we actually start stitching out, what quilting designs you want. Do you want to do the bundle? And then you can follow the chart, seeing which design they used in which area. Or do you want to just pick one border and maybe 1 to 4 of these designs, however you want, and then just alternate them through your fabric? Or you can just choose one and use a background thread that matches the background of each fabric, and it will blend right in. Your fabric will pop and it will be consistent quilting all along. That is your artistic choice. That's the fun of all this. So just keep in mind what your options are and kind of figure out what you want to do with your quilt. All right, so let's go back to the table. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go one fabric at a time. Now, if you've used your own fabrics, you've got these labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know which one, number 1 equals number 1 in your fabric selection, then you're going to cut these sizes. If you're using this kit, then you're literally matching the fabric that goes to the fabric in that particular picture. Okay, so what you also want to do is you need to pay attention to these fabrics because some of them are directional. Okay, see what I've got here? I've got the flags facing down. You don't want to accidentally do it with the flags facing up. So there are a few fabrics in here that are directional. So you need to take in mind that. You've got the banners of the flags. You've got your diagonal. Let's see. You've got this little squiggly with the gray, black, and white. You've got some orange flags and the orange diagonal and the purple diagonal. And those are really only the ones that you should pay attention as to which direction that you want those fabrics to go. That's really all you have to worry about. The rest of them are kind of, doesn't matter how you cut them or which direction that they go, they're going to be cool. All right, so with that in mind, okay, do a little bit of checking as you go. Okay, so we're going to start with the first one, and it says to cut this border block for 6.5 by 2.5. Well, I'm going to look at the front cover and say, here is one of those border blocks. Can you see that? It obviously is 6.5 inches long by 2.5 high. Okay, so then we know that this first number is the width and the second is the height. Okay, so let's take a look at another one. Let's take a look at these little squiggly ones. This is a quilt shop roof, which it's hard to see, but it's the roof line behind this large quilt shop. So you want the wider piece going across. So when it says 8 by 3.5, 8 is obviously with the width, 3.5 is the height. Okay, so the first number is your width, second is your height. Then I would just go one at a time. Go very slowly. Some of these you might have to press out if they're folded, like for the borders. Most of them will be okay, but you might just still give them a press because they might have a crinkle on the end. Get them all nice and flat, and then one by one cut your fabrics and take your time. You know, there's no rush. Just take it slow so we don't make a mistake. And then once you've done it, I put a little check mark by this saying I've done it. And then it's going to go in your bag system in the border block bag. Then I'm going to cut the next piece, 4.5 by 2.5. Check it off. Put it in the border block bag. Okay. So as you go through and you do all this, one by one, you're also going to be fusing a piece of either your Palon or your SF101 to the back of these fabrics that are called background. Now what I do is my preference is I will cut everything first. And then I actually put a pin or a clover clip on the piece of fabric that's in this one. In this case, it's the broom parking background. It says background. I just put a clover clip on that one and I slide it in my plastic pouch. Then I go through all the pouches when I'm done and I say, okay, this piece has a clover clip on it. I pull it out and I double check. Yes, this is a 6.5 wide by 8.5 tall piece of the diagonal fabric and it's for the background. So I'm going to cut a piece of my fusible and fuse it to the back side of this fabric, put it back into the broom parking plastic bag or pouch. Go to your next one. Now we're going to do pumpkin pin cushions. 3 backgrounds. Do the same thing. Fuse the back of your fabric. Put those pieces back into that bag or plastic pouch. That way you can do all your cutting at one time and then all of your fusing at one time. Okay? Then you're done. So that's your homework assignment, is to get all of those cut. Now there's one more chart I want to talk to you about. is on page 8. If you have the fabric kit by Kimberbell, which I have here, they give you a cutting diagram as to how to cut it. So if you look at this one with our little flags, this is this one right here. Sure enough, 6.5 inches across with the flags going down, 2.5 inches tall. So I would cut it right here, 6.5 by 2.5. They give you this chart. Follow this. This is very, very helpful. Make sure you're on the right fabric, and then it shows you how you can get all of those cuts out of that one piece of fabric. So using the kit and using this chart makes it pretty much foolproof. So if we're really careful going through this, we won't make a mistake. Hopefully, that's the goal. But this chart is really, really helpful. So again, just do one at a time. Follow this chart. Now, the next question you're going to ask is, do I do the same thing for my embellishments? No, don't cut your embellishments. Leave those in their full pieces just as they are in the kit. They do give you cutting instructions for the embellishments, but I have learned from doing the Kimberbell projects that I can maximize the amount of supplies I am using and the amount of supplies that are left over by leaving them all in a single piece. And then as we get to each block, I'll show you how to position that piece of leather or piece of applique glitter to maximize the amount that we can get out of each piece. The last couple projects, I've literally ended up with almost enough of every single piece, with the exception of felt and a piece of organza, enough to do a second complete quilt out of the same supplies. So you don't want to take away that opportunity to be able to use that for something else, because some of these pieces like the leather, they're not cheap. So this way, leave everything intact, and I'll walk you through how to position and how to maximize getting the most out of each piece, and you'll be surprised. You'll be able to do additional pillows or towels or another table runner or some other thing, blocks, out of this project with the same embellishments. So don't cut your embellishments. Leave them solid, one piece as they are in your kit. Okay? So if you have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. This is your homework, is to cut out all your fabrics. Again, slow and steady wins the race. We're not in any rush. So take your time doing this, and we will come back on the next video and we will start to stitch out these blocks. So thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. It really helps me be able to do what I do for you. I truly appreciate it. And if you like this video, please click the like button. YouTube likes to see if people like the videos. And also put the bell notifications on. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a video in this series and my other videos as well. So I hope this explains everything to you. Have fun. Again, slow and steady. Get all your fabrics cut in the bag. Get the backs of the background fused. And you're ready to go. All right. I will see you here next time on Jolly Molly TV. Take care. Bye-bye.